It is I, Andrew, here from the Revisionist Almanac. All the voting polls for the eligible categories featured on the 2016 episode have officially closed, and it's time to reveal the winners who will be officially added to the Almanac. I want to first thank my guests, both Adam Freed from MovieArcher.com and Heather Stewart, the Question Queen, for featuring on the episode. This episode had the highest first month download since the show started and also had the highest per category voting average, both of which could not have been accomplished without the two of them. I hope you find and follow both of them on social media by using the handles in the description of this episode. Let's get on to the voting. For the first time in the show's history, we had 2 automatic entries on the episode, so only 4 of the 6 categories had different winner picks and needed to go to the online polls to battle it out. Up first was Best Supporting Actress, and was one of 2 categories that didn't go to an online vote. And it's the first time that this category had an automatic winner over the first 13 episodes. Adam, Heather, and I were all firmly in agreement that Viola Davis's magnetic performance in Fences was head and shoulders above her competition, and therefore she enters the Almanac. Moving over to Best Supporting Actor, where we had 2 men battling for the victory. The actual winner that year, Mahershala Ali for his role in Moonlight, which Heather agreed with, and then Jeff Bridges for his performance in Hell or High Water, which both Adam and I selected. This was a relatively close battle for the first few hours, but eventually there was separation. On both the Instagram and Twitter polls, which tend to get the most overall votes, Mahershala Ali finished in the lead, and when all polls closed, he grabbed 57% of the overall vote, compared to the 43% that Jeff Bridges grabbed. This meant Mahershala Ali retained his actual Oscar award and had the Academy starting off strong with both of their supporting picks, making it into the Almanac. Up next was the Best Actress race, which had 2 iconic, dynamic women to choose from. You could have picked the actual Oscars winner, Emma Stone from La La Land, or go with Amy Adams and her role in the science fiction masterpiece Arrival. On the episode itself, I predicted that this would probably be a tightly contested battle with both getting equal online support. However, the final vote total left a larger gap between the 2 than I expected. The battle was neck and neck on Instagram, but Twitter was the voting location that had the largest turnout and gap in voting for this category. Perhaps because Stone already has an Oscar for Poor Things, which people were telling me during the vote they thought she was more deserving of, or because Amy Adams has been historically passed over for the Grand Cinematic Prize, and you wanted to right those wrongs. Amy Adams finished with a whopping 60.6% of the final vote, compared to Emma Stone's respectable but smaller 39.4%. This now means that even though Amy Adams doesn't have a real gold statue to adorn her mantle, she does have a revised Almanac win thanks to Adam, Heather, and your votes. And though it's a small consolation, if Amy Adams is listening to this, or if anyone that knows her personally is, I'd be happy to fill that mantle place with a Rev Almanac sticker, the first of what will hopefully be many merch items to support the show. Transitioning over to Best Actor, where we again had an automatic entry. That's right, Casey Affleck in Manchester by the Sea did not have to duke it out with any other men in the vote. Though we can't ignore the controversy around Casey Affleck's career, I think we all addressed it on the episode respectfully and fairly. And controversy aside, it really is hard to ignore what he does on screen in that film, and multiple people who listened to the episode this month reached out to me and said they were happy we all aligned on the pick. Affleck is the second lead actor to get automatic entry, the other being Philip Seymour Hoffman for Capote on the 2005 episode in Season 1, and the 6th automatic entry in total, the others being Hoffman, Viola Davis, Natalie Portman for Black Swan in 2010, Steven Spielberg for Saving Private Ryan in 1998, and J.K. Simmons for Whiplash in 2014. We're up to the Best Director category now, and once again we had 2 options to cast your vote towards, the actual winner and Wonder Kid himself, Damien Chazelle for his work on La La Land, and Denis Villeneuve for his work on Arrival. Even though both Adam and I were with the Academy in picking Chazelle, we acknowledged that Heather was wise to choose Villeneuve and would likely win the online poll based on the public perception of these 2 directors in the 8 years since these movies came out. And having this battle take place the week of the actual Oscars announcement might have given more ammunition to Heather's campaign, as Villeneuve was passed over again for Dune Part 2. And let's talk about Heather really quickly. She works in marketing in her day-to-day life, and that translated very well to her campaign work on social media this week because she put in the work and it paid off. Damien Chazelle scored 44.2% of the vote, but Denis Villeneuve claimed victory and arrives as an Almanac champion, grabbing 55.8% of the final total.
Have you ever wondered why a particular movie is considered one of the greatest of all time, or how Back to the Future measures up against Casablanca? Enter Greatest Movie of All Time podcast, the show that uses a unique grading style to redefine what the greatest movies are. I'm Tom Duncan.
And I'm Dana Duncan. Well, using our patent-pending Stanley rubric, we've judged hundreds of films on their legacy, their impact or significance, their novelty, their classicness, their rewatchability, and then, to allow all of you a say, we even included some audience scoring from a few reputable places.
Yes, we've covered some great classics so far on the show, including Raiders of the Lost Ark, Casablanca, Back to the Future, Jaws, Gone with the Wind, Saving Private Ryan, The Dark Knight, and many, many more.
Join Tom and I every Wednesday for a brand new episode as we explore a new classic movie and see how it stacks up against the rest. Just a few of the movies we're talking about this season include the original Star Wars trilogy, Gladiator, All About Eve, Toy Story, Inside Out, and Barry Lyndon.
You won't want to miss out, so subscribe to Greatest Movie of All Time podcast wherever you get your podcast or in full video on YouTube, or follow us on Twitter, Instagram, or TikTok at Gmode Podcast.
And now it's time to get to the big one, Best Picture. Voters had 3 films they could back as the best film of 2016. The actual winner, Moonlight. Adam and my pick, which was La La Land. And then Heather's pick, Manchester by the Sea. And my eyes see Moonlight as the winner. Wait a minute. That's not right. I have to apologize. I was looking at just the Twitter-only votes total. Moonlight did get the most votes on that social media platform, but the movie could only get enough total votes for second place and 34.9%. Heather picked with her heart in this category, and though she was worried Manchester by the Sea would get minimal votes, I'm happy to report that it had its fair share of online supporters and did finish with 22.9% of the total. That still left it in third place, but kept it closer to the other films than we all expected. Which of course means there was another 44.2% of the vote, which went to the winner, and the revised Best Picture of 2016, La La Land. Damien Chazelle's love letter to Hollywood and musicals of a bygone era joined an illustrious group and continues a trend where no actual Best Picture winner has made it into the Almanac. This is a streak that seems destined to end at some point, though, in Season 2. And 2 other real quick notes on Best Picture. La La Land is the second revised winner to win Best Picture, but not win any of the other 6 categories on an individual episode. The other film being Moneyball in 2011. And just like that 2011 episode where having Melancholia in the Best Picture race probably would have made sense in hindsight, I now have to wonder how Arrival would have fared in this category because considering Amy Adams and Denis Villeneuve claim wins, this is something I need to think about if I ever return to 2016 in the future. And I want to thank each and every one of you that took part in the voting process, whichever social media platform you used. Just a reminder, you can find and follow the show on Instagram, Twitter, Threads, TikTok, and most recently Blue Sky using the handle RevAlmanac, where the voting will take place each and every month. The more places you follow the show, the more opportunity you have to vote for the actors, the directors, and the films you're most passionate about. And as always, feel free to send me your feedback with a DM on any of the aforementioned platforms or by emailing directly into the show at revisionistalmanac@yahoo.com. This now concludes the 2016 episode cycle, but on the way next is the 14th episode covering the 1956 year in film, where I was joined by 2 superb new guests, Kristin Battestella from InSession Film and Sean Phillips, aka MathTeacherMovies on Instagram. Did the 3 of us agree with actual Oscar winners such as Around the World in 80 Days, Ingrid Bergman, George Stevens, and Yul Brynner, or did we bring other nominees to the table? You're just going to have to tune into that episode and give it a listen and find out for yourselves. Thanks as always for being here. I'm Andrew, and I can't wait to see you next time.